peeps, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor. I'm the host of We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez, which is this show right here. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, APA, or any other therapist for that matter. And I want to do a trigger warning. We're going to be talking about how to get out of an abusive relationship, how dangerous it is, what they could do. It may trigger you. So I just wanted to warn you ahead of time. So if it gets too much, walk away, go do whatever you need to do, come back, watch it later. All right. So getting out of an abusive relationship. As horrible and as awful as being in the abusive relationship is, it is the most dangerous point is leaving for so many, many, many reasons. So, hey guys. So the reason it is because if you're dealing with an abuser, and it doesn't matter whether the abuser is malignant narcissist, malignant borderline, psychopath, whatever, dark triad, yada, yada, any of those, okay, they cannot stand losing, okay? It's crazy. This is where we get into obsessive X syndrome. And this is why they're so very dangerous. Hey, Margaret. So yeah, this is why they're so very dangerous, because in the mind of an abuser, it is never about, you know, is the other person happy? It's always about winning or losing for the abuser. So are they winning or are they not? If they're not winning, that's when they go to crazy land and they start getting dangerous. So the biggest mistake I see people make is they telegraph what they're going to do to their abuser. They flat out, you know, like, I'm going to leave you. And then they wonder why the abuser is now ramping up and doing all sorts of absolutely insane things. So it's super important that you do not telegraph what you are going to do. So if you are planning on leaving, if you are planning on getting out of this relationship, do not tell your abuser. Do not share this with flying monkeys. That's the other thing that happens. Oh, this is what we need to talk about. So if you have reached the point where you're done being abused, you're done. You're like, I realize this is crazy. I realize this is abusive. I realize this is not a healthy relationship. Good Lord, my hair is like doing the Watusi without me. When it's reached that point and you're ready to go, you've got to figure out who the flying monkeys are. You've got to figure out who you can and cannot trust. Because I can guarantee it. If you say to a flying monkey, you're thinking of leaving the abuser, it'll go right back to the abuser. You absolutely bet. The other thing that we struggle with as survivors of abuse is we've been conditioned to tell our abuser everything. Everything. So, you know, if we have a thought, we run back and tell them. If we talk to somebody that we're not supposed to, we run back and tell them, because we're constantly looking for that approval. But when you've reached the point when you realize this is unhealthy, this is dangerous, this is crazy, this is not the way a relationship should be, then you've got to really stop that inner child. It's the inner child is the one that runs back to the abuser to tells them everything. That's what little kids do. That's what the abuser wants. The abuser is the fill-in for the caregiver, and boy, that little inner child just wants their approval so bad. You've got to stop running back, and you've got to figure out who you can and cannot trust. Now, here's a good freaking clue. If your abuser has told you it is not okay to talk to certain family members and friends, or all family members and friends, that's your support group. Guarantee it. So in other words, the abuser will have isolated you from any and all family members and friends that would have supported you, that would have said, honey, what are you doing? Why are you living your life like this? Why is it okay for this person to keep you up all night screaming at you and telling you nothing's right and you're a bad person and how come you're not providing and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? You know, they will have isolated you from the family and the friends that will truly be your support. So your support system is all the people that the abuser told you not to talk to. Guarantee it. So when you get to the point where you're done, stick a fork in you, you're done, and you're done being abused and you recognize you need to get the hell out, you cannot trust anybody that the abuser is allowing you to talk to. Let me just say that again. You cannot trust anybody that the abuser is allowing you to talk to. They will have replaced all of your family and friends with all their family and friends. You cannot trust any of their family or friends. You cannot. They are the flying monkeys. The ones you can trust are the ones that the abuser has told you can't talk to them. I don't want you talking to your brother. I don't want you talking to your sister. I don't want you talking to your mom. I don't want you talking to your dad. I don't want you talking to that person that used to be your best friend. Those are the people you can actually trust. And those are the exact people that the abuser will have gotten rid of because they don't want anybody who sees who they really are to be talking to the target of abuse. So when you get ready to leave, you've got to protect yourself from the flying monkeys. The flying monkeys are just going to run back and continue to tell the abuser what you're up to. Okay. Yes, it is a gorgeous Sunday. It's going to be 81 degrees here, guys. I'm like, oh, dear God, if it's going to be 81 here in January, the end of January, I'm terrified for what the summer is going to be like. So, the mob was my family. Yes, oftentimes it can be our own family. Absolutely. So you've got to figure out, and this is so many different facets. Okay. If you are the child, the adult, coming into adulthood child, and it's the family that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you're going to have to look outside of the family for support. How do you do that? You contact Catholic Charities. They have support groups. You contact Jewish Family Services. They have support groups. You contact the Domestic Violence Hotline, which you just type into Google Domestic Violence Hotline, boom, it pops up, and it will send you to places that have support groups. You can contact AuntBertha.com. It's a social services kind of conglomeration. At least that's here in Arizona. I do not know if it's nationwide. But you contact AuntBertha.com. It has all the social services in there. Or you type in domestic violence support groups. You type in abusive families. You get to a support group somehow. If you can get a therapist, get to a therapist. Jewish Family Services denied. They can. And it's, again, not everybody understands that abuse is not necessarily punches, and they don't understand that abuse is not necessarily a romantic relationship. It can be a family thing. Don't get me started. Okay. So, all right. So if it's a kid, if it's a young adult, if you're 18 to, 30 and you're stuck living with your family, then you need to find support outside. You need to find somebody else to talk to. If you can get to a school counselor, get to a school counselor. Here's the thing. School counselors are state mandated. Do they always do the right thing? No, obviously. If you heard about my situation, I told teachers and they just kind of went, la, 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 I'm not listening. I don't want to have to get in the middle of this, la, 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 la. But they are state mandated. So, I only had my mom for support. Thank God she was there for me. The rest I did myself. Yeah. I sought advice from a counselor that helped. Yeah. If you can get to a counselor, get to a counselor. If you can get to some sort of free service. So again, universities, colleges, if they have a master's degree program, they will have a practicum. They will need people to practice on. You can get free counseling there, free support. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Because leaving an abusive situation, whether it's because you're the kid and you're stuck in this crazy family, or you're the romantic partner and you're stuck in this crazy situation, you need outside support. And if you can get it from the family and friends that the abuser has isolated you from, do it. Those are going to be your best support. If they are the ones that the abuser does not want you talking to, guess what? Those are the exact people you need to be talking to. So, okay. So there is that. So support is huge. That is what you need to do. You need to look for your support system because you're going to need as much support as you possibly can. You can lone wolf it. It's harder that way, but it can be done. It can be done. It's just easier when you have somebody to call, at 10 o'clock at night when you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm scared. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing. And have somebody go, hey, breathe. It's going to be okay. I'm right here. I got your 6. Everything's good. You know what I'm saying? So you want to have a support group. Okay, so before we even get to safety plans, okay, we've covered support groups. You need outside support. You need those people that the abuser has told you to tell them to fuck off. You do. You need the people, because I can guarantee you, anybody that the abuser has isolated you from is the exact person you need to be talking to, because they're the ones who can help. And the abuser knows that. And that's why they got rid of them. So there it is. Go make amends to the people that you isolated yourself from. Go call them. Go talk to them. Email them. Do whatever. But before you do that, let's talk about electronic devices. Okay. Abusers are control freaks. Okay, remember the dark triad? So we got narcissism, we got Machiavellianism, which is control freak, and we've got psychopathy, which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So, okay, when they are control freaks and they don't want to lose, they're trying to control you. That's why they've pushed everybody away that could possibly help you. That's what abuse is. They do not allow you to have your own family. They do not allow you to have your own friends. They do not allow you to go do the things that you love. They make sure to take all that stuff away from you and then point the finger at you and tell you what a loser you are because you're now no longer you. What? Yeah, that's what those fuckers do. All right. So abuse with electronic devices. This is why leaving is so hard in this day and age, because we depend on our iPhones, we depend on our pads, our computers, our, all of that stuff. So abusers will demand usually the passwords. They'll want to know exactly what your passwords are to your Facebook, to your Instagram, to your email accounts, to your, everything. They want to know everything because they want to control. And they want to make sure you're not talking to those family and friends that can help you because they want to keep you down. So what they'll do is they will demand the passwords, and they'll either demand the passwords or they will demand that you not talk to them unless they're sitting right there. It's the same thing, guys. I'm sorry, it's called privacy. Hello, you're an adult. You can talk to whoever the fuck you want to. You're an adult. Hello. Hang on. So they will demand passwords or they will demand that they are sitting right there when you're talking to family and friend, and they're feeding it to you, and they're feeding it to you, and they're feeding it to you. And you can tell, oh my God, it's like, because there's this long pause while the abuser is sitting there telling the target of abuse what to think, what to say, and then it suddenly comes out, and then the family members or the friends are like, this doesn't even sound like the person I know. What the hell? Well, if it doesn't sound like your loved one, your family, your friend, whatever, then you can bet your sweet bippy it's either the abuser sitting there dictating what's going to be said, or it's the abuser themselves. They will get online and pretend to be the target of abuse. That's what these assholes do. So the other thing that they do is they do spyware. They love to put spyware on phones. They love to put spyware on computers. They can put things like, what's it called? Keystroke loggers. So if you refuse to give them your password, they'll just go put spyware on your computer and get a keystroke logger and figure out what your passwords are and then go ahead and get into all your stuff. Or they'll put tracking devices on your phones. Your phones are not safe, guys. If your phone or your computer is ever out of your personal space, you can bet your abuser is on it. You can bet, you can take that to the bank and earn fucking interest on it. That's what these people do. Hang on just a second. We got some stuff coming in. Yep, I had to be in hearing range when talking on the phone or he would get all sulky and punishing. Yeah, that's what they do. How dare you speak to your mom? How dare you speak to your dad? How dare you speak to your brother? How dare you have this conversation without me? I know you were talking about me, blah, 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 because they're paranoid. So, okay. So keystroke loggers, tracking devices, if your phone is out of your possession, you can bet that these people are doing stuff like that, or they're going through, or they demand your password to your phone. You know how some phones are, I think all phones are password protected. They'll demand your password. Well, clearly you're up to something, because if you weren't up to something, you'd just let me see it. Okay, the only caveat, the only time that you need to look at somebody else's phone is if you are in a committed relationship, there has been cheating going on, and you are rebuilding the trust. That is the only time, and only for a limited amount of time, period. If this is going on years and they're claiming you're cheating, blah, 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 and you haven't been, then Houston, we got something else going on. But if there is a situation where there has been an infidelity and you're trying to rebuild trust, okay, for 3 months, maybe at that, but then that's got to stop, because you either trust the person or you don't. And if there's no trust, there is no relationship, period. So, okay, so where was I? Holy cow, so much. Okay, tracking devices. So they will put stuff on your phone to track where you are. They will put stuff on your phone to turn on your microphone. They will put stuff on your phone to fill in the blank. I'm not an IT person. I don't understand all of this stuff. I'm kind of one of those people where it's like, oh, magic box, push button comes on. Whoa, and I'm very thrilled. But it's like some of these people are very, very tech savvy. And if they're not tech savvy, maybe some of their flying monkeys are. So if you are planning on leaving a relationship that is abusive, you do not want to use your computer or your phone. Go to the library. Use the computers there. That's one of the safest ways to do it. Okay. Oh, dear Lord. Yes, mine hacked into my laptop and found out I was planning to leave. He also looked into my phone. He had a tracker on my van too. He's in IT. Yeah, this is the dangerous thing, guys. This is what I'm saying. This is the most dangerous time period when you have figured out that there is abuse going on and you're done. Because these people will do anything, and I do mean literally anything, to prevent you from leaving, especially if they are dark triad, especially if they are, I have to win, and they're very psychopathic. Okay, so getting back to that, you do not want to use your own computer. If you are plotting your escape, look up your stuff on the library. Go to the library. Use their computers. If you have got a phone, get a burner phone. Get a cheap burner phone. Get one that you can, cheap that you can use for emergencies. Keep the contacts for, stuff like that in that phone, but then put that phone someplace where that person cannot find it. It's like, oh my God. It's almost like we self-sabotage when we're getting ready to leave. Like, I've had several clients where they've started the plan to leave, but then they'll do something so completely unfreaking conscious, and they'll do something like, leave the phone somewhere where the abuser can find it, or they'll slip up, accidentally in front of the abuser. It's like, oh my God, guys, you know what? That's the inner child. That is the inner child running the show, trying to get the abuser to approve, or trying to get the abuser to say, no, 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 don't go. Guys, stop self-sabotaging. That person, the abuser, is never going to change, ever. Not in this and possibly any other lifetime. No, it's not going to happen. You cannot allow that inner child to be the one running the show when your life is on the line and you're trying to get away from abuse. Hang on a second. Oh my God, these are things that make me nearly crazy. After we split, trying to figure out if he had hacked everything. I was so paranoid, and that in itself was a prison. So that's when you get rid of everything. You cut your losses, get rid of everything. Everything brand new. Everything brand new. New passwords, new, things that they would not know how to get into. I like different password generators. So, the ones that can do like the crazy numbers and symbols and blah, blah, blah that you would never remember. Those are the best kind to get, that make the passwords really long and, as safe as possible. There is nothing that is, 100%, but you don't want to use any passwords that they would know. You don't want to use your dog or your cat or your home address or, things that, people would know about you. You don't want to do that. You want to get a password generator, and you want it to be something that you and nobody else would ever remember. Okay. Mine would track phone records and then interrogate me on when was the last time I spoke with so-and-so, as if he already knew, but trying to see if I would divulge. Then would want a full account of the conversation. Later would gaslight and deny ever doing so when I would question why. I was an open book, but he was locked down. It was like Fort Knox, yeah. I was used to take care of parents my whole life. They forced will change, stole my inheritance, discarded me. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they'll do that. Okay. Phones. Okay. The library. The library has got free use of computers, and oftentimes you have to kind of book them in advance because there's so many people using the computers, but do it. That's a safe way to look up things like shelters. That's a safe way to look up things like social services like AuntBertha.com or, Catholic Jewish Family Services. No, Catholic Charities, Jewish Family Services, or free counseling, or a university, or fill in the blank. The other thing that abusers will do is they'll go through the phones or the phone records, and they'll go, well, who's this? So let's say that you put in a domestic violence shelter under a different name. They'll hound you. Who's that? Who's Shelby? Why did you put it under Shelby? Who's Shelby? What? And they'll call. They'll freaking call. If they see a number they don't recognize, they'll call them. And you can only have an approved list of people that you talk to. So yeah, you betcha. I was even going around the house looking for spy cameras and microphones inside the electrical receptacles and light switches. What a terrible time. That was 4 years ago now. Yeah, they can. People have been known to do that kind of thing. So, okay. So the point I'm trying to make is you've got to be smart about this. If you are leaving an abusive situation, you do not want your abuser to know your plans ahead of time, because they will torpedo them. They will make goddamn good and sure that you cannot leave because they're crazy. I don't know if I've said this before. Hang on just a second. Okay. So you want to get a cell phone that they have no access to. Make sure it is in a place that they cannot find, seriously, but that you can get to if you need it. Also, go to the library. Use a library computer to look up your stuff. So you can go to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's on the computer as well. They also have an 800 number you can call. There are people that you can talk to get support, to find support groups, to find shelters, to find emergency food, to find. Do it. The other thing you're going to have to take a look at is if you are in a relationship and you've got kids, okay, whether they be with the abuser or not, you're going to need to file for emergency custody. Okay, and a lot of people, when I start talking court stuff, their eyes glaze over and they're like, oh my God, I don't know, it's too overwhelming. Yes, it can be absolutely overwhelming. Yes, the courts can be completely fucked up and in the favor of the abuser, depending on where you are and who the judges are. However, you got to do what you got to do. So here's the deal. If you've got kids and you are leaving, when you leave, you make sure you have somebody who is on your side, protecting you, helping you, go with you to the court, file for emergency custody, file an order of protection. Okay, but before we get to orders of protection, let's talk about safety plans, because I've kind of covered all of the preliminary. This is just preliminary stuff that you do before you actually start leaving. So you're getting your plan together. So the things you need to think about: custody. You need to think about emergency custody. You may want to contact an attorney, okay? And I know abusers love to keep their victims, their targets, in financial chaos. So they spin, make you pay for everything. They do that whole, if it's a female abuser, they'll do the whole, well, you're the male, you should be paying for everything. And then the guy will knock themselves out trying to pay. If it's the reverse and it's a male abuser, they will insist that the female stay at home and not work, or they'll sabotage their work, or they'll, have them do something so that there's never enough money. But you do want to get a hold of an attorney. Abso-freaking-lutely. You're going to need it. And I hate it when people go, well, I can't afford it. Well, you know what? You can't not afford it. Seriously, especially if there's kids involved. You need to protect yourself. And if you have to go in debt to do it, do it. Seriously. So, okay. So you need to have an attorney. You need to have support. Where are you going? You need to have a safe place to go, whether that is a shelter, or whether that is a family member, or whether that is a friend, or whatever. Where are you going to go when you finally pull the trigger and leave? How are you going to keep you and your kids safe? This is part of the safety planning. These are things that we don't think about because we tend to be very impulsive. Okay. It's kind of like, oh my God, things have gotten really bad. Okay. Now I have to leave. And then boom, you're out on the street and you're like, whoa, my God, what do I do? This is why you want to set stuff up before. So where are you going? Who are you staying with? Do you have a separate bank account? So this is the other thing that happens, is that financially the abuser, whether male or female, will demand that you have joint accounts and that every paycheck go into that joint account and you have nothing of your own. Somehow, some way, you are going to have to get your own bank account and start pulling out money just for you from your paycheck. So I have had abusers put tracking on the members, the person's phone, so that when they go to the bank, suddenly the abuser's there. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you opening another account? Oh my God. So what you want to do is you want to do all this stuff in secret. You want to open an account without them knowing. That's why you need the burner phone that they do not have access to. If you feel like they're tracking your car, take public transportation, take an Uber, take a Lyft. get to the bank, open a new account, start putting money into that account. You're going to need it. Hang on, we got stuff coming in. I had no money for an attorney. I had 8 cents in the account. Yeah, that's what they do. That's absolutely what they do. At that point, that's when you contact the shelters and you contact the social services and you explain your situation and ask them, where can I get help? Where can I get help for this? And a lot of times the shelters will have some sort of pro bono attorney. Not always, but sometimes. My ex hacked into Facebook, had 4 weeks of messenger conversations. Daughter caught him. My phone dinged with message. Then his immediate afterwards, she grabbed his phone, said, "Dad, you don't like Facebook." I was so proud of her, but in complete shock. She betrayed me not long after this and now ghosts me and lives with him. It's hard on kids, guys. It's hard on kids because the abuser plays games. They use the kids as pawns. They abso-freaking-lutely do. We'll talk more about that. So, yeah, they'll get, oh God. So here's the thing. When an abuser has gotten to the point where they are breaking into your Facebook, whether you left it open or not, they're getting into your Facebook, they're taking copies of your messages, they're taking copies of your emails, they're, sharing emails and Facebook Messenger stuff to third parties. That is illegal, okay? It's illegal. So at that point, we're going to be talking about getting an order of protection, but you have to be out of the house first, okay? Or away from the abuser first. The abuser has to be gone in order for it to be safe. Hang on a second. Modest Means Legal Aid in Arizona will match your case with an attorney that specializes in domestic violence. It takes a few minutes to qualify, but it's worth it. Okay, Modest Means, is that, whoa, Donna, talk to me. Is there, can you put down the website? Can you put the www website thingy, waka-waka-do.a? That would be great. Thank you. Okay. All right. Where was I? Brain gone. It was there. Now it's gone. Where'd it go? Okay. Thinking. Hold on. Okay. Plan. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Whew, lost my head. All right. So, the plan. So you've got to get all of this stuff in order. You need money to live. You need money to get food. You need money to have shelter. You need money, etc. You want to get a separate bank account. So we're talking like this is going to take weeks of planning, guys. This is not going to be like a check, done overnight, and I'm out of here. Unless, of course, you have the means to do that. If you have the means to do it, do it. If you don't, then this is why we need a safety plan. This is why we need to plan for stuff. I will look it up and post. Thank you so much. $75 per hour instead of the usual attorney fees, which can be really expensive. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Donna. Thank you. Okay, so, all right. So the flying monkeys, again, we talked about that. Anybody that the abuser is letting you be in contact with is a flying monkey. Anyone the abuser has told you you may not speak to unless they're sitting right here telling you what to say and think, that's your tribe, guys. All of the people that they have pushed away, all of the people they said that were bad and wrong and this, that, and the other thing, those are the very people you need to be contacting. Okay, so safety plan. Cars. Do you have transportation? That's the other way that abusers prevent the target of abuse from leaving, is they make it so the car is in their name and their name only, or they make it so they sabotage the car, or they do something. Donna, thank you so much. Donna just posted that. It's www.az, oh Lord, I need reading glasses, azflse.org/modestmeans/. So look it up, guys. If you're in Arizona, that's one way. Donna, thank you. Okay. Chris, he walked out of the room when he was caught red-handed Facebook hacking. I followed him upstairs. I said, why? Nothing else. I felt soul raped. His answer was, I don't know. Bullshit. If he doesn't know, nobody else on the face of the planet knows. So I don't know is a cop-out answer. You know goddamn good and well why you do things. Drives me crazy when I have people sit on my couch and I go, okay, well, what's going on? Why did you self-sabotage? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? What's the thought? What are you thinking? I don't know. Well, sweetie, if you don't know, I don't know. Ain't nobody on the face of the planet knows but you, because you're the one that did it. Hello? So yeah, I don't know is a cop-out answer. It's I got caught and I haven't come up with a good lie yet. That's what I don't know is, especially for an abuser. Okay. All right. Cars. Okay. So they will sabotage the cars. They will make sure that the car is in their name, or they will make sure that you have no access to transportation. they'll do all sorts of things like that. So, or when it looks like you're getting ready to go, and this is before you've cemented it in your mind, you'll have two cars, but then they'll be like, it's just too expensive having two cars. We'll just go down to one car. No, freaking cars are freedom, man. They are freedom. You do not want to be without your transportation. Never, ever, ever allow a romantic partner to tell you to get rid of your car. That's a huge red flag. Red flag, huge. Okay, so you want to make sure you have transportation of some sort. Do not allow them to take the car away from you. These are all things you're going to have to think about. You're going to want to look up to see how much Lyft or Uber is if you have to do Lyft or Uber to get to your job or whatever, because these are things that we don't think about. So the safety plan is going to entail all of this, and it's going to entail when is the safest time to leave. When can you get away from them? Are they going to be off on a trip somewhere? Are they going to be going to work? Are they, when is your window of opportunity? And then take it. The other thing I recommend too is if you have a job where you can talk to the owners or the boss or whatever and let them know what the situation is, especially in some of the smaller mom and pop companies, at least around here in Arizona. I've had bosses and employers be perfectly fine with the target of abuse packing his suitcase and keeping it at work. So, you want to have an emergency way out, or if you have a friend you can trust, pack a suitcase, keep it with them. So it has all the necessary documents. Oh my God, Chris, you're telling the story of my life, particularly the car situation. Oh, Jen, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know, it's scary. It's like there's an abuser handbook. I swear to God and all that's holy. It's like there's an abuser handbook, and the abuser does the exact same behavior no matter where in the world they are. It's like you can count on it like sun comes up in the east. This is what they do. They prevent people from having cars. They prevent people from having money. They prevent people from having friends. They prevent people from having family. It's the same no matter where they are. Had 4 kids. He repossessed the car. When I finally replaced it, my car was sabotaged. Laundry soap and sugar put in the engine. Keep your cars locked up and in your garage. Have a lock put on the gas cap cover. Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely. They will slash tires. They will fill the engine, the gas with sugar or whatever. Yeah, they're vindictive bastards. They really are. And I mean that for the female ones too. You betcha. So, so, okay. Okay. Back up. Okay. You need transportation. You need money. You need shelter. You need a support group. Boom, shakalaka. Those are the things you need to be thinking about. When is the safest time to leave? Can you leave? That's where I was going. Passports. Driver's license, birth certificates. You need to have all of those, because that's the other thing the abuser will do is they will sabotage. They will take them, they will hold them hostage, or they will destroy them, or they will do whatever. So make sure you have all of your sensitive documents that you need to either get a job, keep a job, travel out of the country, do whatever it is you need to do. Not with the kids, because then that's a whole, stealing kids situation. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, you need your passport, you need your documents, you need your driver's license, you need your birth certificate, you need your kid's birth certificate, you need your kids' passports if they have one. So get all of that sensitive information the fuck out of the house. Have it at a trusted friend's place so that you know where it is. Again, if you can pack a suitcase up with all of that, pets, yes. Oh God, that is a whole other issue. Okay. What abusers will do is they will hold the pets hostage because they are fucking assholes. Hold that thought. So I had a dear friend of mine who is a counselor, by the way. She was involved with a very abusive man. And when she figured it out, she left. He kept the dog. And he refused to let her, even though it was her dog. She bought the dog. She trained the dog. She raised the dog. It was her dog. She came into the marriage with her dog. He refused to let her have it. They were back and forth in court for literally 10 years. And finally, she just kind of went, okay, I'm done. I get it. This is your way of staying connected to me. I'm done. And she finally had to let the pet go. So heartbreaking, stupid. Because the guy didn't care about the dog. He didn't give two fucking rat's asses about the dog. He just wanted to be able to go, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, bitch, fuck you, bitch. You know, and it's like, you know what? Fuck you, asshole. I hope that St. Francis has a special spot in hell for you, motherfucker. Close to the fire. Anyway, or far away from it, whichever version of hell you believe in. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, so it happens, guys. It happens to therapists. It happens to normal people. It happens to empaths. It happens... You know, and they will use the pets against you. You bet your sweet baby. I've seen them threaten to kill the pet or harm the pet to torture or punish the person for leaving. Look what you made me do. And unfortunately, in the court systems, pets are not viewed as independent, sentient creatures. They're viewed as property. So it was considered, the dog was considered part of the divorce property, which is crazy to me. But so they will do that, and it's horrible, and it's a form of torture, and it's a way to get to either harm the person who has left, or it's a way to get them to conform and come back. And trust me, if you come back for that pet, unless you can come back, steal the pet, and get the hell out, they're just going to torture you more. It's horrible. It's awful. It's terrible. And they are evil, and I hope they burn in hell. So, so funny. I had an abuser get onto YouTube and tell me that I needed to stop swearing and stop being so judgmental. Well, I'll tell you what, when you fuckers stop torturing people like my clients and stop being abusers and stop hurting pets and stop doing shit like that, I'll stop swearing and I'll stop being judgmental. Have a nice day. And by have a nice day, go fuck yourself. All right. So I wish I knew all this. Read the abuser's handbook. Everything would have been much clearer. 5 years on, only now getting clarity. I took certificates, keys, bank details, etc. It was the worst time in my life. I just switched to survival mode as I was heading to a very dark place mentally. So pleased you're there for others to get away from the abuser. Life will get better. Yes, it will. But when you're leaving, it's scary as all fucking shit. It really is. It is just terrifying. And this is where the abused brain is going to really fuck with you. This is the other thing you need to know. It's like there is a part of you that's at survival that's like, we meaning me, my body, us, my soul, needs to get the fuck out. But then you've got the abused brain going, oh my God, oh my God, no, I'm making the wrong decision. No, I'm going to be alone the rest of my life. Oh my God, da. You've got to tell that to shut the fuck up. Why? Because you say so, and you need to get you and your kids and your pets out of there so that they are safe. Remind yourself of that, because this thing is going to try to sabotage you because it's got the abuser's voice going. Tell it to shut the fuck up. Why? Because I say so. I need to get out so I can be safe, so that the kids can be safe, so that the dog and cat can be safe, or the goldfish, or whatever you've got can be safe. He wouldn't give me my cat, indoor cat. He came to my new place with my beautiful cat, dead, wrapped in a towel. He put the cat out. Never had been outdoors in her life. In his life, said it died of heart attacks climbing a wall. The pain was unbelievable. I didn't let him see my pain, though. Oh, Jen, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I love animals. I love cats. I love dogs. I love everything. I'm so sorry. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They are cruel. They are sadistic. And they intend to hurt, and they intend to harm, and they want to get a reaction out of us when we have left. And that is why they keep the pets. That is why they try to keep our kids. I'm not even kidding you. If they could kill our kids, they would. Some of them. Yeah, you bet. And they will use those children as pawns. They will use the pets as pawns. They will do whatever it is they think they can get away with. And with kids, they do the whole, I want full custody. I'm not going to pay you a dime, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about that. They use the kids as pawns. They can't kill them, obviously, because I think if they could, they would, especially that kind of behavior. But short of that, what they'll do is they'll try to keep the kids away from us. They'll do the parental alienation. They'll not feed the children. They'll starve the kids when they've got them. They'll not dress them properly. They'll put them in shorts in the dead of winter. I've seen all sorts of truly heinous, horrible, really nightmare-inducing things that these abusers do to try to regain control or to try to hurt and harm and punish and, win. It's all about the win for them. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They just want the win. They want to feel like, I won. So much winning. Go fuck yourself. Oh, God. Jen, I'm so sorry. God bless you, babes. God bless you. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay. Modest means lawyer comes through your local aid association. Call local aid or legal aid, local legal aid association. Call legal aid of your state, and they will guide you to either pro bono or modest means vouchers. Esther, thank you so much. That's awesome. Yay, team. Okay. So you want to get as many of your valuable stuff, information, documents, etc., out of the house. Get them out of the house. Get it over to a friend's house. Get it over to your employer. If you can, keep it in your desk. Do whatever you need to, but get all of your passports, birth certificates, bank information. I don't know what else. Things like that out before you leave, because they will. They'll destroy them. They'll hold on to them. They'll claim all sorts of BS. So, yeah, you want to do that. Okay. Safety plan. Next, you want to figure out when you want to leave. When is it the safest, and when are you going to pull the trigger? Now, like I said, this thing will try to keep you from doing it because it's got the abuser's crap running through it. So you've got to be able to tell it to shut the fuck up. Why? Because you say so, and you remind yourself you need to survive. You need to save yourself. It's okay. You're worth saving. Your kids are worth saving. Your dog is worth saving. Your cat is worth saving, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You've got to get the fuck out of there. You've got to get the fuck out of there. So then you decide when you're going to leave. Make sure you have all of this other stuff in place. Make sure you have, where you're going, your money, your transportation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you do pull the trigger and leave, as soon as they know that you are gone, they will flip the fuck out, and they're going to call everybody and their dog wanting to know where you are. This is the most dangerous time for abuse targets, because if the abuser is an obsessive ex, if they're psychopathic, if they're dark triad, if they're like that person that killed the cat, they are going to try to hurt you in some way, shape, or form. They'll do what, I can't remember who said about the car, pouring stuff in the gas tank or slashing the tires or whatever. This is why when you call places like Catholic Charities or whatever, and you ask for domestic violence help, they don't ever give you the address until they know that you are truly the target of abuse, because abusers will do that. They'll try to call and find out where the shelter is so that they can go harass at the shelter. That's how stupid these fuckers are. So, okay, hang on a second. We got more stuff coming in. Twice now I've had to leave my dog behind. Broke my heart. The last one, the dark triad took him and had him declared a comfort animal. I actually had him for a few days a couple of weeks ago when CPS had me come and get my stepson and the dog when the dark triad ex was arrested for domestic violence on his son. I so did not want to give him back when the caseworker from DHS came to get him. At least my stepson is now safe. Okay. Oh, God, I'm so sorry, babes. I'm glad the stepson is safe. They're heinous. They're just heinous. They're heinous. And karma will come get them, guarantee it. May not happen fast enough for most of us, but it does always happen. It's hard when you want them to care and they don't. I care, and I didn't understand why he enjoyed hurting or taking away anything I loved. I never understood, and they never changed. It's because they're psychopaths. There's no there. We have an empathy thing. We can put ourselves into other people's shoes. We can put ourselves into other people's paws, as it were. We know what it's like to be alive and sentient and have feelings, and they don't. They really don't. They will never change, and they don't fucking care. And that's the scary thing, because it's so hard for us to wrap our heads around. It's even harder for family and friends to wrap their heads around that this person could be so completely psychopathic, callous, not caring, crazy, etc. It's a mind trip. Okay, I went away for the weekend. A few hours after me leaving, the dog got very sick, according to the abuser. When I got home, the dog was very sick and died the next day. At the time, I only suspected it was my narc who did something to the dog. Now I know. Yeah, they do. They will poison animals. They will run them over. They will accidentally, turn them loose into the wild. And that again is a difference between accidentally leaving a gate open and intentionally leaving a gate open. The abuser never goes to look for the dog if the gate was intentionally left open. So anyway, oh God, yeah, I'm sorry guys, that really sucks. Okay, so where am I going? Safety plan. So you have all your safety plan together. You're leaving. This is the most dangerous time period. So you want to make sure that the family and the friends understand rock solid. They cannot tell the abuser where you have gone. They can't give any hint, nothing, because they will do that. They will call around, they'll call your employer. So you need to let your corporation know, hey, I'm in the middle of a very high conflict divorce. This person is dangerous. I would like an escort to and from my car. And they cannot know where I live, period. So you want to make sure that everybody is on board and understands they cannot give out your new phone number. They cannot give out your address. They cannot give out where you're working. They cannot give out anything. This is where the attorneys come into handy, because when that happens, the abuser has now lost control. And their whole thing is about power and control, power and control, power and control. When they've lost control, that's when they ramp up. That's when they start doing the stalking stuff. That's when they start doing the really, crazy Glenn Close, Fatal Attraction weirdness. So they're pissed because they no longer have their favorite punching bag, and they will stalk whoever it is they think they need to in order to get to the target of abuse. So now we're coming into, oh, Lori, I'm so sorry. We're having a conversation over here about how many pets have been killed leaving an abuser. It happens, guys, and I'm so sorry. So now we're coming into the order of protection. So orders of protection are just a piece of paper. That's it. You have got to call the police each and every time it is violated, okay? Orders of protection are very, very, very important when you are leaving an abuser. You want to get out of the situation and then head straight over to the court. It'll be your local court, and you want to file for an order of protection. So here's the deal. You also want to, as you're getting ready to leave, take screenshots of everything and keep the copies somewhere where the abuser will not see it, like at your work or with a trusted friend or family member. So you want to take copies of all screenshots of all texts, of all emails, of all IMs, or anything that the abuser has threatened you, said that they were going to harm you in any way, shape, or form, made it clear that they were verbally abusing you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because when you go into the judge to file an order of protection, and I've had to do this a couple of times because of the nature of my work, I work with the survivors of abuse, and the abusers don't like it, so they take it out on me because they can't get to the target of abuse. So what you do is you walk in and you fill out a form, and it does not cost anything. It does not cost anything because you are the victim. So you fill it out, and who, what, where, when, how, why, what's going on, and then you list out all of the things that the abuser has done. And if you have the screenshots, put them in with that. If you have the conversations where they're threatening you, put it in with that. If you can, bring a person who has been witness to the violence, whether it's verbal or physical, with you so that they can kind of be there to support. And if the judge has any questions, they can pop up and say, I was there, I saw it, that kind of thing. So what will happen is the judge will go back and they will read through what you've said, and you'll list it all out, and then they'll come and ask you questions. With me, they don't really ask questions because I'm a licensed professional therapist, and I've had to do this several times. So it's like, okay, hi, how are you doing? Okay, yeah, approved, boom, there we go. So, but with other people and in other states, with other situations, yeah, they're going to ask questions. They're going to be like, well, how long have you been with them? When did it start escalating? Are the kids safe? Do you have a emergency custody? Blah, 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 blah. These are all things you're going to want to do as soon as you leave. As soon as you leave, file an order of protection. As soon as you leave, file an order of protection. You're going to want to do that. You're going to have to pay a process server to serve it. That's where the expense comes in. And that's usually about, I think it was $80 the last time I had to do it. So yeah, you're going to want to do that and serve them, but be prepared. They will be pissed off because they've been caught now, and now it's public record. So yeah, they will definitely attempt to harass, intimidate. They'll do one of two things. They'll either escalate or they'll de-escalate. And oftentimes what they'll do is they'll try to file one against you now, but since you're the one that filed it first, it's kind of like, okay, the judge is usually like, yeah, we're not playing that game. So the other thing that they'll do is they'll try to get it revoked. They'll say that there's nothing to it, but that's why you want the evidence. That's why you want all of the screenshots. That's why. And here's the other thing that abusers will do is they will create fake personas on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, all the social media, Twitter, all the social media places, because they want to continue to harm. They want to continue to intimidate. They want to continue to harass. They want to continue to fill in the blank. And it's really not that hard to figure out what a fake persona looks like. Always amazes me how the abusers are always like, ha 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 ha, I'm being so sneaky and I'm creating all these different personas and nobody knows. And the truth of the matter is, I've been doing this long enough, I can tell a fake persona when I see one. So yeah. So, and they will do that. And they will also do things like, especially if they're dark triad and they've done it before to another target of abuse, they'll do things like call the police after you've done the injunction, and they will make false allegations, or they'll call the FBI and they'll think that they have a leg to stand on. So, they'll do crazy, crazy things in any way to just, be in the bonnet, try to keep you upset, try to keep you off balance. They'll go to your work. They'll try to get you fired. They'll try to go after you. They'll try to, all sorts of stuff. That's why an order of injunction is so hugely important, because when they start doing that stuff, okay, now you've got an order of injunction. The second they contact you, the second they do the fake personas and they really are, threatening, intimidating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and they do it over and over and over again, and you know who it is, and you can trace it back to them, you file another order of protection, or you call the police. You call the police. You simply call the police. And every time they break that order of protection, you call the police. And then they will go to jail eventually. And they will learn that, no, they are not the one in power. No, they are not the one that is going to do the intimidating. No, they're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. Hang on, we got more stuff coming in. So my ex then planted himself everywhere I was known to go regularly, and then I didn't call the police. They went back in to try to have the PPO set aside. You have to call the police each and every time. Yeah, you abso-fucking-lutely do. You betcha. You got to call each and every time. Lori, he took everything away I loved, my daughter, my pets, my home. But I've built a home again from scratch, 5 years. I have new pets, guard dogs, yay, new phone, new friends, no daughter. But I will never give up that she will see the light. She is 20. And hopefully she will. And just, whenever you can offer, hey, come to counseling with me. Hey, let's go to counseling. Hey, let's work this through. You can always keep the door open. Even if they've slammed the door shut, don't lock it. Just let them know, hey, I'm on the other side. And I'm talking about the kids, not the abuser. The abuser can go fuck themselves. But with the kids, hey, door's open. If you want to go to counseling, let's talk this through. The thing that abusers will do, though, is that when the kid has gone no contact, the abuser will pick a therapist that knows nothing about personality disorders or abuse, and they will demand that the kid go to therapy with them to break the no contact. So that's a completely different situation. So, and how usually by that time period, the kids are adults. And so it's up to the kids to be like, yeah, no, not so much. So yeah. Why isn't personality disorder considered a mental illness? The craziness is mind-blowing, to say not pure lunacy. We've had this conversation before, but I'll go ahead and have it again. So what's going on is that you have part of the ACA and part of the APA, American Counseling Association, American Psychological Association, that is personality disorder, quite frankly, because they're the ones that want to get rid of personality disorders in the DSM. So they wanted to get rid of it altogether and said that it was a choice and it wasn't really a mental illness. It's just a disorder, blah, 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 blah. So there was a huge fight the last time the DSM came up for revision. And a bunch of the humanists, now the humanists are the ones that are like, we don't want to label. we don't want to hurt anybody's little feelings, so we're just not going to call it what it is. I'm sorry. If you call it Harold, it's still a pink elephant taking a shit in the corner of the living room, whether you call it Harold or you call it a pink elephant taking a shit in the corner of the living room. Don't get me started. So they want to get rid of it because they don't want to label anybody. And that's a load of crap. I'm sorry. Who the fuck is speaking up for the abused victims? Who the fuck is there to say narcissistic abuse syndrome? Who the fuck is there for them? That's what pisses me off. It's like, how dare you protect abusers? How dare you? How fucking dare you? So if you guys are pissed off about this, contact the ACA. Contact whoever does the DSM-5s or the DSMs. Talk to them. Tell them. Where's the representation of what the victims go through? Where is the narcissistic abuse syndrome? Where is that? It's nowhere to be found. And it's the same. You show me a victim from fucking Timbuktu all the way to fucking Malibu, man, and we all have the exact same behavior because of the abuse. Boom. Mic drop. So yeah, that's why they want to get rid of it. I'm convinced, because they don't want to hurt anybody's little feelings. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts that the ones that really want to get rid of it are the ones that have it. So there you have my very opinionated opinion. All right. Yes, they will hire private investigators. They will do, but that is part of stalking, and that can be reported. So you just report. You just, every time it's violated, you call the police every single fucking time. Every time. And you document. You keep a list running of the different personas. You keep screenshots. It's like, okay, this person I'm pretty sure is the stalker. Okay, this one is I'm pretty sure the stalker. And you just keep a running tab going. And once you can take the time to figure out if they are or not, then you call the police and you go, okay, they're stalking me online. They're doing this, they're doing that. They're, and you call the police and they'll go to jail. So, yeah, that's what you do. Now, remember, orders of protection are just a piece of paper. You have to be the one to call, and you have to be the one to report what's happening. So don't be afraid to call. Now, here's something that somebody brought up. Oh, I wish I would have mentioned this earlier. If you have to call the police and you are not out of the situation yet, you're still living in the house together or whatever, if you have to call the police, tell them ahead of time. And you're leaving because it's like, okay, it's now reached danger, dangerous proportions. Shit's going down. He or she is becoming violent. They're throwing things. They're threatening. They're whatever. You have to get out now, and you need the police to help you to do it. You tell them it's a domestic violence situation, and you ask them to come. No sirens, no lights. Because oftentimes when an abuser sees the sirens and the lights, a little switch gets flipped in their sick little heads and they decide they have nothing to lose. And that's when they become dangerous. So you want the police to show up, no sirens, no lights. That's the safest way to do it, because it's a surprise. And now the abuser does not have the chance to formulate a plan to harm you, harm himself, harm the pet, whatever. You just gather your shit and get the fuck out. So yeah, that's something, and then there was a few years ago, there was that thing about the woman who called 911 and pretended she was ordering pizza. If you have to do that, do that. I swear to God. Or if, it was also one that was online ordering pizza, please call 911. I'm in a domestic violence situation. Help me. If you have to do that, because the abusers, when they get to that point, they are definitely dark triad, and they are monitoring every move, every motion that you make. So yeah, you do what you have to get the hell out. If you have to call the police, ask for no sirens, no lights, because it's the safer way to do it. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, you want to contact. They'll do all sorts of crazy shit. It's insane. All right. All right, where was I? Orders of protection. Moving out. Don't let them know where you're going. Don't let them know the new phone number. Contact your job. Let them know what's going on so that they are aware of the situation, so that you can be protected. If they show up at your work, call the police. Absolutely. As far as them going to the places that you go to, so this is where it gets difficult, especially if you live in a small town. They'll figure out your routine, and they'll try to show up where you've always shown up. And we tend to be creatures of habit. So it's really, really important to vary your routine. If you're leaving an abusive situation, super important to vary your routine. Super important to not go at the same time. Vary when you go to the gym. Vary when you go to shop. Vary when you go wherever. Always be aware of your surroundings. Carry pepper spray. That's a good thing. I personally conceal carry, and I carry pepper spray. I also have taken self-defense classes, and you can get low-cost self-defense classes at the YMCA or YWCA. You can get them at a lot of the dojos will offer a women's self-defense courses that are not that expensive. Contact the local police department. Hey, I'm leaving a domestic violence situation. I'm out of it now. I need a self-defense class. Do you have one? Do you teach one? Do you recommend one? Do it. Do it. So yeah, and it's very empowering because we're so afraid. We're so afraid when we leave that situation, whether that situation is we're kids and we're leaving the violent family or the abusive family, or we're, a romantic partner and we're leaving the abusive partner. It's a very frightening situation, and you feel like your power has been taken from you. So you want to get your power back. And part of getting your power back is filing that order of protection and going, buck stops here, bitches, or getting that self-defense course under your belt and knowing that if anything goes down, you can protect yourself in some way, shape, or form. Called police regularly for him, would have to run out of house even when daughter was very young. And then when police came, he became meek little boy mask, got several warnings, wish I knew then what I know now. Yeah, they present completely differently. Oh, I'm the innocent little victim. Or they rage. One of the two. They will go into an absolute rage and just scream at the cops for hours. Oh yeah, they did this to me, blah, 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 and make you out to be the bad guy. And it's like the cop is usually sitting there going, okay, crazy person. So yeah. Mention about the abuser pushing the judge to order reunification counseling as a tactic to manipulate the spouse to conform and return. Yeah. So in a divorce hearing, at least here in Arizona, I don't know if it's in other states, but I know here in Arizona, you can file for reunification. You can file for reconciliation is what it's called. So, but here's the thing. You don't have to go. You are under no obligation to go. There is not a judge on the face of this planet that is going to hit you with a contempt of court if you choose not to show up to the hearing. That speaks pretty loud and clear that you do not want to be reunited with this person. So yes, they do have reconciliation stuff that the abuser will often file for, but you are under no obligation to go, and you can let the court know, I do not feel safe with this person. There is no way in hell I'm going to reconcile with this person. I'm not showing up. I'm not going at the advice of your counselor, your lawyer, your, whoever. So yeah, absolutely. But what they will do is if there's children involved, they will push for having contact with the kids. And that's where you're going to get drugged through the courts. That's where they're going to, the whole custody thing is where they're going to do their voodoo, because they're going to want to use the kids as pawns to get to you. So, because again, it's all about the win. They don't care about the kids. They really don't want to spend more time with the kids. They want to be able to stick it to you and not pay child support, not pay spousal support, not buy the kids new clothes, but they'll want full custody, but they really won't want to take care of them. And that's where it gets sticky, because then you'll have to go through the whole rigmarole of having to show the courts that this other parent is not parenting, they're neglectful, they're not feeding them, they're not clothing them, they're not taking care of them, they're not making sure they're doing their homework, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The only reason they want them is to do the parental alienation. So yeah, it's crazy, go nuts. All right, so what else? All right. So it is so dangerous in the first little bit after leaving, because this is when the abuser will try to do different things to try to get you back. If the intimidation and the anger and the threatening and the using the kids and the using the courts doesn't work, they'll flip on a dime, and suddenly it will be, I see the error of my ways. I have had a come to Jesus meeting and I understand that I have some things I need to work on. Oh, good Lord, I just went Southern. They'll suddenly be like remorseful and, oh, I understand and I'll change and things will be different and blah, 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 fucking blah. Don't believe it. Here's the thing. Human beings, good human beings, do not harm, do not put down, do not scream at, do not yell, do not hurt, do not call names, do not lie, do not, drain your bank account, do not, etc., fill in the blank. To say that this person is going to change, you're smoking the ganja, guys. They're not going to change. They are not going to change. It's not going to happen. Don't believe it. And they will. They will hoover in that first, little bit, trying to get you to stop filing, trying to stop the divorce, trying to stop the custody, trying to stop the whatever. All right, let's see. So yeah, thank you, Jen. So, all right. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I have missed. Do not be afraid of the intimidation. This is the stock and trade for abusers, is especially when they get to the obsessive X part of the talent contest. They love to intimidate, and they love to fear. They love to instill fear. That is their big thing. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. If you are afraid and you are living your life in fear, they have won. Don't let them. Don't let them win. They don't deserve to win. They don't. They're pieces of shit. They don't deserve to win. So they love to try to scare us, and they love to try to intimidate us, and they love to try to say, I've got the power, and I'm going to take away your job, and I'm going to take away the kids, and I'm going to take away this, and I'm going to take away that. Well, you know what? The crazier they get, the more obvious it is that they're crazy. And the more weird stuff they do, the more obvious it is to the courts. And you just got to trust the whole process, that eventually the courts will see how crazy they are. They will. And it's scary in the time period, which is why you need that support group. That's why you need a bunch of people who've been there, done that, been through it, know what to expect, that can say, yep, my ex did that too. Yep, absolutely. They tried to take my job away. Yep, they tried to call the FBI. Yep, they tried to call a local police department. Yep, they tried to stalk me. Yep, they tried to slash my tires. Yep, they tried to know that you're not alone. Yeah, they will do all of those things. They will do all of those things. Wherever you go, make sure you know your surroundings, that you're safe, that nobody is giving your information out. This is the time period where you're really going to see who the flying monkeys are. As soon as you recognize that somebody is giving out your information, you get rid of them. You get rid of them. I don't care how long you've known them. You get rid of them. You get rid of them. I was wondering what you do when the abuser starts manipulating your own family. You rely on a support group outside of your family. So, like I said, abusers can be immensely charming. They can. And they will manipulate and lie, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If the family is siding with the abuser and not the abused, then they are not your tribe, babe. You need to find your tribe. And sometimes tribe is not always blood. Sometimes tribe is complete strangers. So, and hopefully they'll come around. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And again, why? Because we don't talk about this enough. We don't discuss this. This is not ever discussed anywhere, really, when you think about it. I mean, there's a few of us out there. There's like Richard Grant and me, Kim Saeed, Melanie Tanya Evans. There's another one. Shahid. Oh, I can't think of the name. Anyway, there's a few of us out there that are talking about it, but that's like 4 or 5 out of how many counselors? We don't talk about it in school. We don't talk to young kids about what is and what is not abuse. We don't ever tell our kids, hey, here are the red flags to look out for. If you're in a bad mood and suddenly your partner's in a bad mood and they're now blaming you for their bad mood, guess what? That's not healthy. That's not normal. Everybody's responsible for their own moods. Okay. There is no blaming in a healthy relationship. Okay. There is understanding. There's like, hey, I'm in a bad mood. Oh, shoot, I'm kind of in a bad mood now too. Well, let's talk about it. Okay. Well, hey, you don't have to be in a bad mood because I'm in a bad mood. There's talking, there's communicating, there's being healthy. And then there is blaming other people and trying to make them responsible for your emotions. That's not healthy. And kids are not taught that. If that's what they see growing up, they're going to mimic what they see. So We need to talk about abuse. We do. We absolutely. We need to talk about how these fuckers think. We need to talk about what they do, how they groom us. And the most important thing is, what is the original wound? The reason we all got to where we are right here, right now, is that original caregiver wound. Mom, dad, grandparents, teachers, whoever harmed us. That's what needs to be fixed. Not by going out and getting on a dating site and dating and trying to fix that original wound by dating people that remind us of our abuser. That's never going to fix it. All you're going to do is compound the shit. You need to clear that shit out, clean out the wound, figure out what it is, work on it, heal it, and then you go out and date. And hopefully by that time, you're not going to date whoever the abuser was. Does that make sense? So, okay. All right. Yeah, let them go, babes. Let them go. If they're supporting the abuser, let them go. That's not your tribe. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to talk about really quickly in closing. I cannot remember what the hell I'm talking about next week, so I will do a post about what I'm talking about because I meant to go look that up and then I just got busy. All right, so I'm finishing up the audio for What's Wrong with Your Dad. Hopefully that will get done within the next couple of weeks or so, and then it'll go to post-production and we'll get that up and online, hopefully sometime in February. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him do the cha-cha. That is my new book. It is available on Amazon. I will be doing a book signing and a lecture on March 23rd at Changing Hands Bookstore in Tempe. So that will be a Friday night, March 23rd at Changing Hands Bookstore. I'll be there from 7 o'clock until 8:30. So the first hour or so, I will be lecturing on abuse and, you know, families and how to help and what to do and what not to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, answering questions. And then I'll be signing the book. I'm also doing I'm a keynote speaker at a conference in Yuma. It's in March. I don't know when or where, but I will also be doing a book signing in Yuma. Don't know the dates yet. My guy is supposed to get it back to me tomorrow. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know. Cannot think of anything else. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to try to do one of those off shows, you know, like when I get the chance, I'll start answering some questions because I've gotten a whole bunch of questions this last week. So I'll just, when I get the chance in between clients and I'm home and I've got a couple of hours, I'll go compile all the questions and then I'll do a little question and answer period. And no, I never know when those are going to happen. I'm sorry, guys, because I just do them whenever I have the time. So that is that. I had to go no contact with that whole family side of my abuser because the emotional, mental attempts of manipulation. Unfriending is not enough. No, it's not. You have to block so that they cannot creep in on your Facebook and contact through common friends. Yeah, that's another thing they do. Just last night, I received a flying monkey text from something I had posted on Facebook. All are blocked now. Yeah, you got to go through. You got to block. You got to make sure that they have no contact, that, you know, they can't, and you warn all your friends. You let them know, hey, I'm in a high conflict divorce or I'm leaving an abusive situation. Please do not tell my story to blah, 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 blah. So, okay. Come to Ireland. Oh, I would love to. That would be awesome. Actually, I'm trying to get a European tour together because I kind of figured since I'm doing this stuff here, and I've had people in Europe say, come to Europe. I would very much like to do Ireland. I would very much like to do Scotland. I would very much like to do England. I think that would be very cool. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think I want to do it in the summertime when it's freaking hot here. So I will see. I'm trying to get all this stuff together. So, my daughters have learned a lot from this abusive marriage, that they now intervene when their classmates are in abusive situations. Good. School staff have praised their efforts. Screw the drug addict, dark triad. We survived and we rock. Yes, you do. Okay. Yes, I am coming to Atlanta April 23rd. I still do not have a venue yet. I'm looking into a couple of different venues because I'm trying to keep it as cheap as possible. So it will be on April 23rd. I will be in Atlanta. As soon as I get the venue for that, I'll let you know. Okay. All right. Okay. I cannot think of anything else. You guys go have a fantastic day and get your questions together because, like I said, I'll be doing a one-off, probably not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. It might be tomorrow or Tuesday. So I have some time right now in my schedule. So I'll be answering the questions that you guys have been sending to me. There was a lot of really good ones. So I'll write them down, compile them, and do those. Okay, guys, go have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.